Welcome back. Now, in recent communication, it has been emphasized that the National Society of Collective Management, NASCAM, is undergoing significant changes to improve its efficiency and effectiveness in serving its members and licenses. Joining us in studio is Albert Nicanor, the Chief Executive Officer of NASCAM. He's leading these changes and aims to create a stronger foundation for the organization's future. In light of this development, this interview will delve into NASCAM's restructuring and future plans. Now, welcome and good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning Namibia this morning.
Thank you a lot. Thank you to your listeners as well.
Okay. Now, you're celebrating 100 days in office. Congratulations on this attainment.
Thank you.
What are the factors that led to these communiques that we have received on the restructuring and changes with regards to NASCAM?
All right. Thank you. I think firstly, I just want to acknowledge, since I've come on board, that NASCAM has not been managed efficiently and effectively. There are certain things which the board has thought they are not in place, and that has triggered for them to start the changes, and also the appointment of a new CEO. So I think for us, as a new leadership, the things that have triggered that is where we are today because of inefficient management that has caused the organization to be where it is in terms of financial management. In general, also the organizational culture of how things has been done has not been promising, and also the corporate strategy or drift. There was no really corporate strategy apparent to direct the organization to where it wants to go. I think those are both the internal factors and also the external factors, which is obviously the organization could not adapt to the changes in terms of the industry. So it needed then to adapt because certain opportunities has been missed, and so we want to make sure that NASCAM remains relevant in the current industry.
Now, talking about these shortcomings and challenges you highlighted from either financial mismanagement, lack of organizational culture, and corporate strategies, how do these restructure? How will this play a role in addressing, the restructuring? How do these influence the restructuring?
What are you saying there?
Are these issues that you have highlighted, will they play a role in how you restructure the organization?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first of all, the strategic leadership or the strategic plan, roadmap, which is not there. On any organization without a strategic roadmap, it will not achieve where it wants to be. So the new board has agreed, and they said, okay, first of all, we need to have a strategic roadmap where we want to be. And part of my mandate or my job is to make sure that I come up with a strategic plan. There's already a draft. We just need to finalize that. So we have not yet the strategic plan in place to implement. So once we have finalized the draft of the strategic plan, we then want to implement it. There are a series of programs and activities and initiatives which the board has identified, and they think in their turn they want to carry forward the organization and where they want to see the organization in the near future. So it is important for us then to say, okay, let's craft that corporate strategy first.
Okay. Now, let's talk about what are some of the strategies that you're going to implement to ensure that you improve relationships, especially with the issue of stakeholders, which includes staff members, also which includes the board itself, that obviously that's leading this process and providing strategic leadership through you as a CEO.
Yeah. Firstly, in my 100 days as I came on board, what I've noticed it was lack of communication. It was a challenge, mostly in terms of all the stakeholders, the non-market driving stakeholders and the market driving stakeholders, and also the board, and also the staff. Firstly, let me address the issue of how miscommunication has led to the problem where we are with the members, which are the key stakeholders of NASCAM. Some of them don't understand the purpose of NASCAM. What is the reason why NASCAM, or the mandate? So our mandate was crafted in terms of the Copyrights Act and Labor Act's Copyrights Act of 1994, number 6 of 1994. So the mandate is really to make sure that we protect the copyrights works of our members, and also to collect royalties in terms of their works and which has been exploited, and then to also distribute. That is our key mandate. So when I say communication, some of the members don't understand what is the purpose of NASCAM. They just think, oh, it's a union or something else that's supposed to protect their interest in any other way. But those are the key mandates, and that's what we want to emphasize to our members. So there has been a lack of communication. And also with our stakeholders, which are the users like NBC, for instance, or not just NBC, but all the other broadcasters and music users. They don't understand the mandate, and they don't understand the need to pay royalties, for instance. So we want to make it clear. We want to make sure the stakeholders understand. It's not just a matter of saying you pay, but they don't understand what, in terms of what. So we want to make our mandate clear. Drafting a program, communicating with our stakeholders, both the non-market and market-driven stakeholders, to ensure that they understand our mandate. That has been lacking, and that is my goal now, to start crafting that message. And these platforms is one of those means we want to use to carry our message forward, and how to communicate forward with our stakeholders from now on henceforth.
Okay, so it's an issue of short-term and also long-term development.
Yes, yes.
And what would be your immediate short needs you think that you need to address in order to eventually lead into this long-term sustainability strategic plan that you're hoping to?
So as I said, for the first 100 days for me was just to assess where the organization is and where it wants to go, and then to prioritize what are the short-term, the medium-term, and the long-term. The short-term, we want to look at the functional aspect of the organization, making sure that the procedures are in place, how it operates, because policies were not there or are not existing, and also to enhance the corporate culture that will carry the organization long-term feasibility forward. Once the board understand that they have a responsibility or accountability, they all understand that, okay, we need to push for this agenda and so on. And also to enhance the efficiency of the organization, as I've said, meaning that the day-to-day activities needs to improve. It needs to be aligned. Every day we need to align what we are doing currently to align it to where our strategic goal is, whether we want to have efficiency and all that. That is what we are doing on the short term. The longer term is the strategic plan. It's a 5-year term. For the past years, I'm not so sure when, but we haven't had a budget, for instance. So we need to have a budget to share with our stakeholders, both to say, okay, this is what we want to do on an annual basis, and the staff will understand. So these are the short term that they will say the budget will drive their motives for doing their activities, for instance. So in the short term, in the past, it was just, what can we do? How much money do we have? That is how it was run. So with a budget, so they will understand, it will motivate them to say, okay, create your work plans, create your activities, how to drive, and they set targets on how to achieve those things.
Definitely, strategic plan, annual work plan, obviously, and then allows you to a budget to allow you to achieve those. As we begin to wrap up our conversation this morning, we understand that you have a special annual general meeting slated for the 9th of December. Talk to us, what is the objective and what is on the agenda item for that meeting?
Yeah, okay, the AGM is one of the activities, the functions for the board that they have to carry out on an annual basis for its members. In terms of Section 11, I think the Constitution allow for the chairman to call for this. This is a special AGM. It deals with the issues that has not been dealt with in the previous general AGM, which is to approve the annual financial statements for 2022. And also to look at other reports that has been outstanding, like we want to look at creating a social grant for members, you know, and the board has prepared a report, and they now want to present this report to the AGM and to see if it can be adopted, and then it can be implemented thereafter. So it basically is few items. It's not a big debate. It's just to adopt the annual financial statements and also to look at the reports. Yeah, that needs the members' approval.
Okay. Now, and finally, is there any message that you'd want to give us specifically to your stakeholders, the NASCAM members, and the viewers at large before we conclude our conversation this morning?
Thank you for that. I think firstly, I want to appeal to our members. Firstly, we are busy now with the annual distribution. On an annual basis, we do distribution. We call on our members, please, they must come forward to update their banking details specifically, and also to ensure that they have correct details like contact details. You know, we have noticed in the past there's a lot of errors and mistakes in terms of where money has been paid and why members did not receive their royalties. It's because the bank details were incorrect, or their works, for instance, has not been registered with NASCAM, for instance. For broadcasters have been playing their works or playing their music, but this music has not been registered, and then we get the log sheets, and it shows, oh, a certain artist has been songs has been played, but we don't have it on our IP system, meaning that we cannot pay royalties to somebody who's not a member or whose works has not been registered with us. So we are appealing to them on number one. Number two, we also appeal to those artists whose songs they think their songs has been played by international broadcasters. They also need to come to NASCAM, for instance. If they are in the UK or Europe or wherever, and they hear their music being played there, they need to come to us, because through our reciprocal agreements with other CMOs, we are able to call on those CMOs to pay up for those songs that they have been playing. So we appeal to our members to always come and update us. But these programs, we want to do this communication, you know, in the future, because in between the AGMs, the members don't really have any other platform where they can discuss issues with the management. So in the future, in the near future, actually, we are looking at holding open-based discussions with the members, so we can give feedback, and they can also give us their complaints.
Okay. Well,
thank you.
Mr. Nicanor, thank you very much for making time to speak to us this morning.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Louis, a lot.
Okay. Now, that was Albert Nicanor, the CEO of NASCAM, talking to us about issues affecting, that's NASCAM, the restructuring and future plans of NASCAM, and also indicating that there is a special AGM on the 9th of December 2023 slated to discuss, that is, an annual financial statement, also a report for consideration approved by the board, and also calling on all members of NASCAM to ensure that in order to receive the portion of the annual distribution, please ensure that you update your financial details with NASCAM, ensure that all your work is registered, and that so that you can be properly be compensated for the work that you're doing. And should your items have been played, please also contact NASCAM, especially on the international platform, for ease of facilitating the payment that is entitled to for the work that you put in. Now stay tuned, GMN gets returned shortly after this break.